If you're in a home and you had it brand new, you're really going to know how old the roof is. You're going to know how it looked from when you had it to where it is now. A lot of people buy homes and the roof's only a couple of years old or 10 years old. They don't know the age. They don't know what to look for. But the most common thing that you're going to see with roofs that are real near replacement is granule loss. You look at a roof, you see it, there's not a lot of granules in some areas. It looks blotchy. The edges of the shingles, you can see a little bit of fiberglass, like furriness. That means that the shingles pretty much wearing out. You don't have a lot of granules left to help shed. The material will start to dry out. Nails will start to work themselves back out. And that's another thing you'll see too, is nails starting to pop. If it's done properly and it's done in good wood, and that's why we always recommend like having plywood put down if you have wood that's just not going to hold nails, because those nails will come out if they're not held. But from a customer's aspect, a lot of times you can't get on the roof because they're just too steep. That's what you got to look at. And if you don't know what you're looking at, or you're just concerned, don't hesitate to call us. I mean, we may not be able to get you that second or that day, but if you call us and say, hey, you know, I just want somebody to inspect my roof, see if it's in close to replacement or how many years I have left, we can always route that into our schedule and stop by anytime to take a look at that and give you an assessment. And there's times where we just tell you, hey, you got probably 10 to 20 more years left in the roof, so just keep an eye on it. We can inspect it another 5 to 10 for you. But we're getting into another side of that coin, where some of these roofs that are only 15, 20, 30 years old may look still in pretty good shape. They may not be in bad shape when it comes to granules, but they're starting to get black algae, that blue-green algae buildup on there. You might see the shingles starting to look a little dry or just look weathered in general, but they look good. They're in good shape, and there's no leaks and there's no nails popping. So we have a cleaning solution that we can go out and clean that roof. We can clean all that algae off. The biggest advantage of that, it gets that algae off there, it gets the lynching off there, and that stuff can no longer build roots inside that shingle and start tearing it up. Once that stuff starts building roots in there and starts tearing the fibers in the shingle, it's going to allow water to get through. And that's not covered under warranty, and water is going to penetrate, and then you're going to have bigger problems later on. So keeping that algae off is very important. All of our new shingles come with an algae protection in them. So it's got copper and zinc in the shingle to prevent some of that algae growing. However, not every roof is new. A lot of them are older, and a lot of them don't need to be replaced just yet, but they're ugly. Your roof is the only one in the neighborhood that's just an eyesore. Well, then this product might be for you. We get out there. It's roughly about 15 to 20% of the cost of a new roof, but it involves us cleaning the roof off with a cleaning solution, getting all that algae off, getting all the grime and dirt and stuff that's built up over 20 years, 30 years, gets that off the roof, and it basically refreshes that roof to it's back to its almost original color. It's one kind of monotone color. You don't have this blotchiness from the different algae. And then from there, we treat it with this product called Peak 301. It's a soy-based solution. It gets sprayed on top of that roof, and it essentially coats the roof. It penetrates into the shingle, and it revitalizes that shingle, puts some flexibility back into it. So now if you get, light hail or wind, that shingle is going to have a little bit of flexibility to absorb any impact or wind. If that weren't to happen, that's when you start getting tear off, or you might get hail damage where it shows up on light hail in certain areas, not the whole roof. And then you have an insurance agent telling, hey, well, you only get a partial roof because only two sides are worn out and the other two aren't. So very important that if you start to see algae growing, or if you want to protect that roof and it's a 20 plus year old roof and you're like, hey, I don't want to buy a new roof, my roof looks really good, it's good to treat it. Get that treatment on there and get some extra life out of the roof. With that treatment, you'll get a guaranteed 6-year warranty with that from us. So if, let's just say, algae starts to reform, or you develop an issue with that roof, let's just say it's discoloring or they're starting to do something weird, that's covered under warranty. So we'll go out, take care of that, retreat it if necessary. But for the most part, that warranty is really, or that product really is good for up to 10 years. It's just the manufacturer only puts 6 years on it for a guarantee. So Not saying everybody's going to get this product and everybody needs this product, but it does go on a lot of different product jobs, and we would go out, take a look at your job. We'll be able to tell you right off if it's something that's going to qualify for that. This last year, I had quite a few roofs that I went out to that thought they needed new roofs, but when we got out there, the roofs were in great shape. They looked good. They were shedding water. They weren't leaking. They just had a lot of algae buildup. They had a lot of black streaks in them. We were able to clean that roof, treat that roof. The roof looks like it did when it was new. They get another 10 plus years out of the roof, and they didn't have to spend $20,000. They spent closer to $3,500 to $4,000. I would say your roof cleaning is going to be close to about a third of the job, and then 2/3 of it would be the peak. And it's all based on the amount of square of roof and the type of shingle you have. Some shingles and some ages will absorb more peak than others. So that's gonna determine. So we look at the age of the roof, we look at how dirty the roof is. Some roofs require us to go clean them twice. We like to do both together because one, when we know we cleaned it, it's nice to treat it because that treating it, that oil gets back in there, and that's what makes the shingle pliable. Cleaning it doesn't make the shingle last longer, it just makes it look better. So you really need both of them. I've had some people that just wanted it cleaned, and I get it if you're trying to cut the cost and you just want it to look good, but understand that stuff will get dirty in the next couple of years, at least 2 to 3, you'll have it dirty again. And on top of that, the shingles will not get pliable, so you're not going to get any benefit out of having the Peak 301, and you're already spending 33% of the money. So I always look at it, if it's a good option, if you can't do the main roof, or it's not necessary to do a new roof, but you do want improvement, that Peak solution's a very good option. And we're pretty upfront whether you need it or not. We're not going to go treat a roof that needs to be replaced, and we're not going to go replace a roof that needs to be treated. Unless you're just saying, hey, I don't like this color anymore, and I want a black roof, or I want a brown roof, and that's why you're changing, then that's pretty straight up forward. But when we're doing an inspection, we're giving you an assessment on what we think would work for you. Those are some of the things we're going to offer or explain to you at that time.